are listening to the East Texas Banner at easttexasbanner.com. We've got the privilege of sitting down with Newton County Sheriff Robert Burby. Sheriff, I appreciate you sitting down with us. Want to kind of touch on some things, man. I mean, obviously, you just got over COVID. So how's things going from that?
Well, I kind of forgot about COVID, but COVID made me think about it. Obviously, my wife and I dealt with COVID about a week or so ago and everything. And, it was kind of frightening because she's a lung transplant patient and not so much as me. I'm a old hard-headed old country boy. But I fared well and thanks for the grace of God, she did too.
Right.
But we followed the proper protocol and was able to keep our distance, quarantine, because you have to do for 5 days and everything. And this is not something for me. I'm not either for or against stuff. I'm a straight down the middle kind of guy. You do what you think that you feel like you should, and I respect you for it. Because that's one of the reasons I served in the military, for individual freedoms and liberties, and I feel very strongly about those things. And I had the latest vaccination, so did she. But anyway, that's not saying you ain't gonna get it.
Right.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't that bad because we're still breathing.
Sure.
On our own.
Right.
No pun intended.
Right.
But it's been kind of busy few months.
Yeah.
We're on the cusp of the political season. A lot of things get crazy. A lot of people say crazy things, especially on the incumbents when they're going to run for re-election like I am. To hit on that first to get all that out of the way. One of the things that I found out since being an office holder, elected official, a lot of elected officials, and I'm one of them, they run for political office to make it better, to make the place better, to try to move things forward, to use their expertise, their skills and ability and knowledge and know how to get things done. Well, I've been in office almost 3 years, and I still have a whole plate load of stuff to get done and everything, and it's just not an overnight thing. So the reason people run for re-election, because the first term is not going to be enough time.
Right.
I'm sure there's other reasons. So I am running and everything, and my record is my platform. I haven't deviated from that, being transparent and with integrity. And one of the things that I believe very strongly in is protecting people's rights.
Okay.
And everything. And if I cannot say something about your case, I'm not going to say it about your case, because your day will be in court.
Right.
You're going to have your day in court, and I'm not going to take our investigation. For instance, read my weekly report and see who's arrested and what they are arrested for.
Right.
I cannot, if we arrest a guy right now, I can't say he was arrested because he hasn't been arraigned or she hasn't been arraigned.
Right.
Now, once they're arraigned, then we can put it out there as public information. Now, my weekly report is my weekly communication to the public, and I don't try. It's not one of those self-promoting things that I do to try to make Sheriff Burby. I almost said Chief Burby. Sheriff Burby look good. It's about public concerns.
Right.
One of the measurements that I use when I'm informing the public of what we're doing, public concerns. I think the public needs to know this. I think the public needs to know that the burn ban is still in effect.
Right.
And it's going to stay in effect until it either run out or get extended or canceled, and that'll come from the judge in the commissioner's court.
Right.
Okay, because we just extended it for another 30 days. So in Newton County, there's still a burn ban, and believe it or not, there's still people who are getting cited who are unaware of, they say they are unaware of the burn ban
that
was in effect. So It is still is in effect, so please take reference to that, because I think the firefighters did an outstanding job on both sides of the river. We was fortunate enough over here in Texas that we here in Newton County did not have one that totally destroyed our place.
Right.
But I can tell you, I've been around a lot of fires in my career, and it can wipe you out.
Quick.
It can wipe you out quick, and people can get hurt, killed, and devastated by the damage. Now, so let's just be cognizant of the fire, the burn ban, and it's going to get over us
Yeah.
eventually.
Sure.
And when it's over with, we'll be back to normal, how normal will be at that time. But I think we will be a little bit better for it, and understanding how important it is to watch those fires.
Right.
Firefighters did an excellent job. Hats off to them and everything. And the deputies, law enforcement, they all, it was a big unison response and everything. And I can tell you this, that we have made some changes. I have equipped all our deputy cars, patrol cars, even mine, with a fire extinguisher and everything. It's better to have it and not need it, or need it and don't have it. So
right. Yeah.
we got that done. Neighborhood watch is something that we worked on, and we in Bon Weir, and we plan to take it down around the county. We're still working on getting signs put up. I went out and made a round today and everything, and we're in the process of getting them put up along the way over in the Bon Weir and 24 over in that area, Buckhorn, Biloxi, Belglade, San Jack, 363, over in that area, Farewell.
Is that a pretty good response from the people down there?
Oh yeah. If you go on our Facebook page, you can see that we had still COVID stuff. I'm not contagious though anymore.
I hope not. I'm sitting here kind of panicking.
Yeah. I'm like, but believe it or not, my wife was telling me the other day about a lady she met over in Jasper, live over in Bon Weir, who was saying they've seen the difference since we started the neighborhood watch.
Good deal.
And I read my deputies' daily activity report. They're doing a lot of patrolling over there and being proactive. Excuse me. We've been, because the citizens are helping us, we're being able to be more proactive.
I got you.
And and a lot of these knuckleheads who prey on innocent folk is not doing it to the extent they were when I first took office.
Wow.
I can say that.
Okay.
And everything. We've shipped off a lot of folks to TDC, and actually they asked to go.
Sure.
I'm serious. They asked to go, and I'm going to go on with a lot of different caveats about the criminal justice system. First of all, it is massive. It's frustrating. It takes time. The victims, it's definitely not fast enough. And the victims look at us like we're not fast enough. They look at the DA's office, you're not fast enough. They look at the TDC, you're not fast enough. The criminal justice system is about 12, 15 years behind the current norms of what we're dealing with.
Right.
And everything. So, it is just like and where I come from, it's like a big old gumbo of stuff.
Right.
And we have to navigate through that. And we're doing the very best we can and everything, because we feel your pain. We do. There's nothing better that I would like to have our citizens not have to deal with people stealing or victimizing them in crime. But again, there's a lot of different things out there that we're trying to do to counteract that. I talk to these guys who get out of jail, who did the time, have done their time and they get out, I counsel them on what are you going to do? Can I help you find somewhere to work or somewhere to go if you don't have any place to live? And we've done that. Those are things that the public don't hear about.
Right.
They always say, well, I ain't heard Burby say anything. He must have heard that. Now, Burby's doing his job. Burby's always working.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably a new term. Burby's always working. You don't believe me, ask my wife. But again, one of the caveats about getting back to my weekly report, I'm going to tell you what I can tell you.
Right.
You know, if there's an ongoing investigation, I can't speak about it, telling you, okay, we're doing this, and this.
Right.
Because it's under investigation. That person might not know they're under investigation.
Right.
Okay, at that particular time. They will know eventually.
Right.
You know, but once charges are filed, there's a different story. We can say what they're charged with.
Right.
And everything, but it still has to go to court.
Right.
Okay, so we have to be mindful of that. Personnel matters. If I terminate someone for their employment here,
Mm-hmm.
they're terminated, and we don't speak about personnel issues in public, you know, because there's litigation that could be pending for that. You know, they have their rights, employees' rights,
Right.
and everything, and rightfully so.
Right.
So it's not that the sheriff is trying to keep anything. He's going to tell you what he can tell you.
Right.
Okay.
So specific to that point, you know, here over the past, couple of months or whatever, it was brought to my attention that there was a situation here with a jailer and an inmate, right? I guess it was a jailer. I'm not sure exactly what the position was, but someone in the sheriff's office and someone as an inmate got romantically inclined, we'll say. And, my thought is, I'd read some stuff. I think it was put out on KJS a little bit, but I mean, is that kind of, where does that currently sit?
I'm going to tell you just like I told KJS when they asked me. We had an employee that worked here.
Okay.
And they don't work here anymore.
Okay.
That employee is under investigation.
Okay.
And as proper protocol was followed, notified Texas Rangers, being investigated by a Texas Ranger. And that's where we're at right now. Being investigated by a Texas Ranger.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Easy enough.
So, and again,
I think there's just, not to cut you off, but I think sometimes this rumor mill starts up. The rumor mill and the conspiracy world almost kind of run hand in hand. And I ain't saying it ain't without good cause, because I mean, it's kind of like in other situations, or other areas. There's just almost a built-in belief that people in authority are going to do what they can to protect themselves from looking bad. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, those are. Well, one of the things that I've found out with all these almost 50 years of public service with the military and law enforcement, 30 years in law enforcement, 20 summers in the military, Air Force, go Air Force. I want to thank all the veterans for their service, because we got Veterans Day coming up, and
Absolutely.
there's going to be give out a pitch to the Newton ISD. Going to be doing the program next month, but that's juicy stuff, man. You got drama twisted in there, and it
Right.
sounds good, and that's good gossip talk and everything. But I can tell you this: you're too damn busy to be. You're too busy to be getting in all that foolishness. And this cope with the fact that, I am running for re-election during next year, and
Right.
the political season is getting ready to kick off, and some places already have. There's going to be a lot of juicy shit come out there to try to make Burby look bad.
Right.
And everything. But I can tell you this, citizens, we're working our hind end off for you and everything. And if y'all know us, and I invited you in, you will see that be able to put the BS aside and everything and see what the facts are. Because in my business, it's like they say, just the facts.
Yeah.
Some of you people old enough to remember those movies, just the facts, and that's what I deal with. Just the facts. We invited you in. We have a Blue Line Advocates organization to help us out, and to come in and take a look behind the curtain and see how this system really works. We have Neighborhood Watch that we have started up in one area, and we look to have start up in other areas. We're trying to get the best bang on our buck. We need a jail. I have this is one of the first times that we had to be in a non-compliant status because of the fire panel went down in May, and we're doing our inspection. Brought it back up in a few weeks later in June, and guess what? It went out again last month, and we just got it back up. So,
and what was it?
The fire panel showing it didn't work.
Okay.
So we had to do what we have to do when the fire panel is down. And the jail commission is they're only going to give you so much time before they say non-compliant.
Right.
And we don't want to get on that list.
Right.
So we're already shipping people out of here to other jails. Right now we only have one, and that's Jasper. Thank God, Jasper. When you say Jasper Newton, Jasper has done an excellent job in supporting us over the years in so many different endeavors, and and I see that going forward as one of the best relationships that we have, and that I've cherished greatly. Because we're paying $40 a day, and next year it's going to go up to $45 a day per inmate, and that is a bargain. And there's nobody else around in this region who we can ship our inmates to.
Really? We
had Hardin County, but they have their issues with space. We have Polk County; they have their issues. We can't use them anymore. The next one, the closest, I don't know. We're looking, because they want to try to keep it close, where the deputies don't have to spend a lot of street time.
I got you. So,
and everyone is having that problem.
I got you.
Everyone. So, citizens, listen to me. It's going to come a day that we ain't going to have anywhere to put these folks. And the folks that we're putting in jail, mind you, they're not penny ante charges. We house majority, medium, and maximum level inmates. We hardly ever put a Class C violation, which is a traffic ticket, in jail. If they're in jail, they're only going to be there for hours and everything. So it's almost a Class C arrest is almost unheard of, but it happens on certain circumstances.
I got you.
So when I talk about the jail, I talk about a need that has long been there. We're looking at if we have to go out and get a contract with someone, it's going to be farther away, and it's going to cost much, much more money. I spoke with a jail administrator yesterday. He said you can look to pay anywhere from $80 to $100 per inmate per day.
Wow.
That's money that's leaving Newton County.
Yeah.
That's money that we could be paying on a note to have our own facility, whatever We do. There's a couple of options out there, and we as citizens of Newton County need to be very perceptive and listen to what the options are, because this is not an option here.
Right.
This is just a temporary thing that should have been fixed a long time ago, to try to be fixed. And we're at a crossroads now that, we're spending a lot of money on facility stuff.
I got you.
A lot of the equipment that's in the jail, it's not been made anymore. So if you can't find a part for it, that means you're gonna have to replace the whole doggone system.
Right. So, and the other benefit about having a jail is not only are you not having to ship your people out of the county and keep all the money in the county, it also becomes a revenue source for.
And as we talked probably off the record before, Jay, I guess a lot of folks think you and I are big buds. I haven't seen you. I'm buddies with everybody. I treat everybody the same. I haven't seen you in 3-4 weeks.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. But anyway, we talked about when we had the bond election. When it was on the ballot, there's certain things that elected official couldn't say. We couldn't be for or against it.
Right.
So really, you can't say the good stuff about it, because you couldn't be for or against it, or the bad stuff.
Right.
I can only go by what was already in print.
Right.
But those are good revenue sources. It pays for itself.
Sure.
There's a lot of different caveats to go on to that. For instance, more employment for people who want to get into the jailer field. And also Senate Bill 22, we're going to start in 1 January. We'll apply for a grant, and a jailer will be making a minimum of $40,000, and a deputy will be making a minimum of $45,000.
Wow.
With that grant.
It really is kind of a game changer.
Yeah, it's given rural America, Newton County, an opportunity to hire quality folks to get a livable wage where they can come here and live and bring your family here, raise a family here, and be a part of this great community and everything. And my hat's off to the legislators for doing that. They almost got it done the last legislative session and fell a little short.
Right.
It didn't get out of committee, but this year it did get out and get passed, and there was a lot of caveats to that and everything, and a lot of folks might not agree. I can't see why you wouldn't agree with it.
Yeah, I think terminology, it was a little bit of the hiccup, because when we start talking about grants mean that first of all, right on the elephant in the room is when we start talking about grants or FEMA money, people kind of wince around here because of Newton County's handling of some grants and some monies in the past, right? Mm-hmm. So when we start talking about grants being associated with this SBA 22, or the term grant being used, then it becomes a question of, okay, is there a way that these guys are going to come back in 10 years and they're going to ask for this money back? Or is this possible that this ain't going to be around in 10 years, and then now the county has committed all these salaries to the sheriff's office, and now the county's going to have to pick up the bag? But the word grant was what I feel like that piece could have been handled better from a legislative standpoint, to communicate that there needed to be an application process.
Yeah, and like I say, there's a lot of ambiguity when it comes to those words. And if anyone knows anything about legalese, they're, the way it's written. But that gives the state an opportunity to have a say in getting this stuff done. And at that particular time, it was the best way that they found fit to do that.
Right.
I can see it as it increasing over the years. Obviously, because inflation, cost of living goes up every year.
Right.
So let's not worry about that problem until it becomes a problem.
Right. Right.
I'm not. It doesn't make sense for you to say, well, I'm gonna put on this heavy coat and be hot for 6 months because it might get cold.
Right.
Yeah. If it gets
No,
cold,
yeah. And that's understandable. And at the same time, I don't think anybody is going to begrudging any department that receives monies from the state that's to try to help bring about some living wage. I don't think that's the point. I think it's just terminology.
Yeah.
And at that point, it doesn't matter because January 1 it goes into effect, right?
Yeah. It goes into effect on January 1st, and the sheriff was I think it was a minimum of 75,000 for each sheriff.
Right.
And I want to say this. I'm not gonna be one of these people to make a big deal out of it, because the budget is what it is. But, the whole concept was to make sure that, those salaries are taken care of. Now, individually, I'm fine, but the next guy behind me might not be as fine financially as I am.
Right.
And those are the principles that I look at.
So it's interesting you bring this up because I myself had some questions about this because, I instead of just trying to read it and interpret it, I made some phone calls to the office of the author of the bill to ask them what was the intent behind the word salary, which I think is kind of stupid. I'm just going to say it. It's kind of stupid to use the word salary, and then people are going to question what the definition of salary is.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm sitting here going, okay, so your salary prior to this, and all this is open record, right? And so, but your salary prior to this was what, somewhere, I don't know what the actual salary is for a sheriff in Newton County, right off the top of my head.
Well, it's about 53, but with the car allowance and cell phone allowance, it was a little higher.
Okay.
And with education pay, certificate pay, which is what any employee would get,
Right.
And again, I want the folks to know that, I didn't take this job for the money.
Right.
I used to, I've made 3 times more money per year being a chief than I do as a sheriff. I took the job to do the job.
Right.
So,
but at the same time, though, I mean, if we're sitting here and we're just looking at this,
but you always gotta look forward from the standpoint of who's gonna come behind me.
Right. Well, but on the flip side, though, I mean, if you were making, and this is just me, I wouldn't be what you would consider an educated type of fella. And if I look at it this way, I come from the oil field, and if I'm making 53,000 or 55,000, whatever the base salary is, and I've got to drive out to West Texas, and they give me a vehicle allowance to drive out there, and they cover my cell phone bill because I got to be on call whenever I'm even off, and then they come around, and then the governing bodies that be OPEC or whoever it is that's in charge, they come down and they say, hey, in order to make this fair and equitable, we need to make this wage for this person $75,000. And I kind of sit back and I go, well, that's going to be awesome. $75,000. Hell, I've been making it off $55,000. And the extra money would be nice. And then I find out that I no longer get a truck allowance, and I no longer get my cell phone paid for. I guess my question is that kind of how this thing is worked out as it pertains to this sheriff's position?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a there's a little ambiguity there, and we're gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see how it goes. How it lays out. But like you say, I have a vehicle allowance and annual vehicle allowance that I pay for the vehicle. I put the gas in it. I pay for the upkeep. I pay for the
You
insurance.
personally?
Yeah, and that's should be covered by my vehicle allowance. I don't have a gas card. I have a credit card, my credit card. That's my
Right.
gas card. But
So there's some ambiguity that still got to get worked out.
yeah, and again, I'm gonna be very professional about it and everything. It's about the principle going forward and everything, and we'll get her done and everything, and it'll fall like it fall.
Right.
And everything because I got, like I was telling you, man, we got so much that we need to get done, and we're motivated in getting it done.
Right.
I can say that it pains me to see these deputies have to work part-time to make ends meet.
That is no joke.
And a lot of them can't even afford to live here.
Yeah.
They would like to live here. I have one deputy just got a chance to move here in the city, in the county, and he's been trying almost 3 years to get over here or
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
And he finally was able to find a place that he could afford.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I said when this first bill came out, when I got made aware of it, I just want to make sure my guys are taken care of first.
Yeah.
And that's when my guys and girls. That is my goal, to make sure that they're taken care of, and then all this other stuff with the sheriff's salary, that'll work itself out one way or another.
Right.
And everything. So I'm good with going forward with my guys
Right.
and girls getting a fair across the board, a salary, to come up to a livable wage.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't think people really understand unless you're actually related to someone in law enforcement. I don't think they understand in these rural communities how many side jobs is having to be taken.
Yeah. And it's just
To
not
keep
Newton
ends-
County deputies.
No,
it's all
everybody.
around.
It's everybody. It's
And
everybody.
everything. And they ain't getting paid a whole lot of money. They're just getting paid extra money from their employment
Right.
and everything. And a lot of times, and I've seen this universal. I've been a cop in 5 different areas. And I've seen these people work themselves in the ground.
Yeah.
I've seen them work themselves in the bad health. I know one guy is dead right now. He used to work for me, and I truly believe he worked himself to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's 10, 15 years younger than I am
Wow. Wow.
when he died. So,
Any other big points you want to hit, man?
yeah, I'm looking at my list here. And I think we pretty much covered it. I think I would just want folks to just to be vigilant and find ways to help out versus not seeing things and believing everything you see or hear and everything. I'm gonna tell you, juicy stuff. A lot of that stuff it's juicy, but it might have a few facts, but make sure that you check your facts.
Yeah.
And everything, because just like on Facebook, how much stuff you think on Facebook is true and legit. Seem like there's just so much hate out there. If you're doing good, people want to find reason to hate you.
Right.
Or find something on you.
Yeah, that's right. That's
They
true.
want to find let's find something on it.
That's true. That's true.
And it's hard because what happens is it not only hurts those people
Right.
that you're trying to find something on.
Right.
What about the people who probably be a good mix or a good candidate or a good person to come into public service? They're gonna look at it and say, "Hey, I ain't gonna get involved in that.
No,
I don't want to go through that. I don't want to put my family through that."
That's a gauntlet.
Yeah, because everyone everyone has someone who loved them.
Sure.
You know, that's why you never see me going and just talk about someone or try to devalue them. That person has someone or a lot of folks who love them.
Right.
You know, and so you want to treat people like you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I try to do. Again, we do a yeoman's job here, trying to keep this place running. We, you know, the guys and girls out there are working their hind end now, and every get a chance, tell them thank you instead of they hear so much negative stuff.
Yeah.
And not as much as they used to when I first took office. But you know, again, we're the good guys.
Right. Right.
We're the good guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Appreciation matters.
yeah. And if like I tell folks all the time, they say, "Well, we call and y'all don't come." Really? We go check and we don't have no record of it. But if you call this office, call dispatch for a deputy, if they don't come, you ask for supervisor. And if you don't get satisfaction when the deputy does get there, you call me, call my number. They can put you to my voicemail. My voicemail hits my cell phone, no matter what time it is, and I will get in touch with you. I'll find you. You know, if you're trying to get in touch with me, I'll find you. You know,
Yeah.
and everything, or just drop by like most folks do. I get a lot of drop-ins and everything. We take drop-ins and everything. And one other thing that sort of, you know, I was out in the neighborhood not too long ago, and I've said this before. That particular neighborhood said, "Well, we never see y'all out there." Well, I'm riding on out there, you know, window down and everything, smiling and stuff. Passes one neighbor, one resident, and waved, and he looked at me like, "What the hell you waving me for?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wow, that's deflating." And I see a lot of that.
Right.
You know, why are you here? I've had people come up to us and say,
Right.
"What y'all doing out here?"
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, our jobs.
Yeah.
You know,
Trying
So-
to keep the peace.
yeah, I look forward in seeing these folks. Looking forward to going into the new election, the election process, because it's going to be crazy, I'm sure.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to it, you know, because, yeah, when you know what what to expect, it ain't no big surprise.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
so I hope I dispel some of the rumors.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, you know, to me, that's one of the things I appreciate about being able to sit down, especially with both famous and infamous guests, to try to dispel some.
I don't know where I fit in on those titles.
But yeah, I mean, you know, at the same time, it is good because, you know, sometimes the rumor mills get going and it don't stop until they actually are stopped by the source.
Yeah, and I tell you, I've heard some good ones.
Yeah.
I've heard some good ones. I was like, really? Yeah, I just wonder why some people believe some of that stuff. But
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. It's juicy, and
Yeah.
people are bored these days.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, I really appreciate you sitting down and talking with me.
Same here, Jay. Man, you keep on doing what you're doing. I know you do a very good service to us. You know, I'm glad you picked up the banner and everything, because you know, one of the things that we need is to make sure we communicate to our public
Sure.
and everything. And it seemed like instead of getting more outlets, we're getting less outlets to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so
Well, that's our hope, is to continue to provide a resource to the community and keep y'all's word out in front of folks. And so, beyond that, man, I appreciate you sitting down.
same here, buddy.